pulled your weapon at night and you fired, why did you fire?
So I was scared. I was scared this person in the apartment was going to hurt me. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
That was Amber Geiger on the stand there, saying she was scared when she shot and killed a man in his own apartment because she says she thought it was hers. The trial of that former police officer, Amber Geiger, continues today. Cedric Alexander is author of In Defense of Public Service. He is a former police executive and past president of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. So good to have you on, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
So when you watch Amber Geiger on the stand there, she says she was feeling at the time that she shot that innocent man, Botham Jean, that she felt scared and she was distracted. Also, a key point in this was that she was a police officer at the time, off duty, I will say. But in your experience, does that change maybe the way she reacted here? Because the door was a little bit open, ajar. Her key didn't go all the way in, but it pushed open. Would that explain, in terms of fight or flight, why she went in?
Well, typically, most police departments in their training protocols, certainly when they're going through the academy, and in addition to that, any in-service training that they may receive on a periodic basis. In a case that you approach any property, whether it's a home, whether it's an apartment or a business, anywhere where you find a door may be ajar and you expect someone may be inside, typical training is that you back off, maintain visual contact, call it in, request backup, because you don't know who's inside of that of that building, or in this case, that apartment. So I don't want to speculate what it is that she experienced. Right. That's her experience, in which she's going to have to explain to the court. But when it comes to training, typically in a situation like that, if I were to approach that door, any police officer who had been trained would approach that door and see that it was ajar. They would back off, request backup, and keep eyes on that property until support comes.
Yeah, Cedric, and in full uniform, but off duty. And what I found interesting is that she said she was confused and went to the wrong floor. And then on the stand for the prosecution was the lead investigator, who said even while he was investigating, he got lost in that apartment. So she said she worked 13.5 hours. She was texting someone she was seeing, her partner, and the door happened to be open, and she goes in and sees a silhouette. I'm just wondering if murder was an overcharge here, and if being a cop worked in her favor at the time. I would assume it would, considering the training.
Well, if you consider the training, and regardless of where you put the training in perspective, whether you're in uniform or whether you're out of uniform, the training for you still remains the same. And if you were to come in from a movie one night, you're a sworn police officer and your door is ajar, typically your training will kick in to do exactly what I just articulated a moment ago. You would back off, observe, call for backup until someone arrived. That is the training. But here again, I'm not trying to second guess Ms. Geiger. I'm not speculating what it is that she's experienced. She's going to have to explain that to the courts there in Dallas and to that community. But when it comes to training, that is the typical training that police officers across this country receive when it comes to approaching any kind of building where there may be someone inside. Now, however, let me say this. If they feel that someone inside is being injured or threatened, then they would leave. Okay.
Okay. Cedric Alexander, thank you so much for your expertise, and it was well said. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're right. She does have to explain that. And she was